Hello and welcome. This is lesson 9.3. I know it says 9.4 at the top, but it's 9.3 matrix review. And we'll be reviewing some of the things that you have learned in the past on matrices. Maybe learning some new things as well. About matrix. A matrix is a box of numbers arranged to allow us to perform different mathematical operations. A matrix is defined by its dimensions, naming first the number of rows, then the number of columns. So a 3 by 4 matrix would have 3 rows and 4 columns. So if we look at typically we'd name matrices with an uppercase letter. So this is matrix A. And this matrix A is a 2 by 3 matrix. Let's go over that. So it has 1, 2 rows, and it has 1, 2, 3 columns. And so we would say that A is a 2 by 3 matrix. And if we look at this little A23 here, let's use pink. So A23 as a lowercase letter a, that's usually used to identify different elements inside of a matrix. And the first one is the row, and the second one is the column. So this is in row 2, 1 being the top, and column 3 being the one furthest to the right. And so this is element A23. And then we have, we can find the missing terms of a matrix by setting the corresponding parts equal to each other and solving. So it says solve for the variable in the matrices below. So in this case, we look at that first one. And 3x, this is a 1 by 2 matrix. And this one over here to the right is also 1 by 2 matrix because it has 1 row and 2 columns. And so the element 3x corresponds to the element 27, so we can say that those are equal. 3x equals 27. And then we can say, well, x then is equal to 3, divide both sides by 3, and 27 divided by 3 would be 9. So x equals 9. And then over here we can say 56, in that second position, that's a 1, 2, if you will, corresponds to over here in this matrix, A1, 2 would be 7y. So 56 is equal to 7y. So we divide both sides by 7. 56 divided by 7 would be 8. And so y equals 8. And that's an example of how we could solve for variables in the elements of a matrix. In this other problem here, we got 2x minus 4 and 15. This is a 2 by 1 matrix. It's got 2 rows and 1 column. And so 2x minus 4 is equal to 18 because they're in corresponding parts, corresponding places within their respective matrices. So if I add 4 to both sides, you get 2x is equal to 22, and then divide by 2 on both sides. X then equals 11. On the other side, we've got, or on the bottom, we've got 15 is equal to 5 minus 2y. So if I subtract 5 from both sides, I get 10 is equal to negative 2y. And then dividing by negative 2 on both sides gives us that y is equal to negative 5. And so those two values of x and y are the solution to this equation in these matrix. Continuing on, with matrix operations, it says in order to add and subtract matrices, they must have the same dimensions. So you can only add a 3 by 2 matrix to another 3 by 2 matrix, and same with subtraction. If their dimensions match, then you just add or subtract the corresponding parts of each matrix. Let's come back to read that other part afterwards here in just a moment. So here I've got a 3 by 2 matrix, and this is a 3 by 2 matrix in this example to the left. And so we can draw out the matrix and say the first element is 2 minus 15. Two corresponds to minus 15. And then we've got negative 9 corresponds to 12. And let's say green, negative 4 and 23. Those are in corresponding parts. 12 and negative 65. That's orange. 6 and 8. And 8 and 54. So in each of these different parts, we could say that the result here is negative 9 plus 12, negative 4 plus 23, 12 minus 65, 6 plus 8, and 8 plus 54. And then we can simplify this, so what we would get as a result be 2 minus 15 would be negative 13. Negative 9 plus 12 would be 3. Negative 4 plus 23 would be 19, and 12 minus 65 would be negative 53. 6 plus 8 would be 14. And 8 plus 54 would be 62. And this then, that matrix there would be your final answer. All right, on this part here, reading on in our paragraph up above, matrices can also be multiplied by a scalar, which is a number out in front of the matrices. To multiply with a scalar, you just distribute it to each term of the matrix. So let's write, here I'm multiplying by 5, and over here I'm multiplying by 2. And so when I multiply by 5, I get 5 times 1 would be 5. 5 times -6 would be -30. 5 times 7 would be 35. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times -9 would be -45. And then I'm going to add that after I've multiplied by the scalar 2 on the second matrix. 2 times 13 would be 26. 2 times 11 would be 22. 2 times 14 would be 28. 2 times -4 would be -8. And 2 times -2 would be -4. 2 times -10 would be -20. And then I combine each of those parts. So 5 plus 26 is 31. -30 plus 22 would be -8. 35 plus 28 would be 63. 10 plus -8 would be 2. 25 minus 4 would be 21. And -45 and -20 when added together would give us -65. And that matrix is our final answer. With that, you guys can go out and practice on your own. Some problems there. If you run into problems, you need some help from me, remember you can reach me at 801-413-3363. You can call me or text me at that number if you run into problems while you're working on it. Good luck. Have a good day.